all aboard the House of Mouse from the port of the Lion City. Now, from 2025, Disney Cruise Line will sail its newest ship from Singapore. It is Southeast Asia's first liner from the franchise, and it will dock here for 5 years. Michelle Teo tells us more.
Get ready to set sail with the world's most famous mouse. While what's on board will only be announced at a later date, Disney's 7 other cruises feature themed restaurants and Broadway-style shows with its world-famous characters. The ship will be Disney's largest yet, able to carry some 6,000 passengers and 2,300 crew members. And in fact, it'll be the biggest cruise ship to ever sail from Singapore. Now, the ship is expected to be docked here at the Marina Bay Cruise Center. That's because it's currently the only terminal that's able to accommodate ships of that size. And to meet the increased demand, the tourism board is working with immigration authorities to speed up clearances. This will be done by 2025. Singapore Tourism Board says the new cruise adds to efforts to anchor high-quality attractions, such as by partnering brands to keep offerings fresh for visitors.
We want to build a solid portfolio of a wide range of attractions here in Singapore. Some of them could be over a much longer period. They may need more fixed asset-like sort of investments. Others can be a bit more temporary. Others can be ways to refresh our existing attractions. So we're always on the lookout for to grow that portfolio of attractions for different sorts of demographics.
At the launch, Transport Minister S. Iswaran says the partnership affirms Singapore's position as a premier cruise hub and a gateway to the region.
The benefits to our economy go well beyond port and ship-related services, extending to the hotel, lifestyle and other sectors as we attract more visitors to our city with world-class leisure options that enhance Singapore's appeal as a vibrant, family-friendly destination.
Mr. Iswaran expects the cruise industry to make a full recovery soon. Last year, more than 1.2 million cruise passengers passed through Singapore's ports, or about 2/3 of pre-pandemic levels.
And we're joined by Professor Abhishek Singh Bhati. He's Dean at the James Cook University in Singapore and also Vice President of the International Tourism Studies Association. Welcome, Professor.
Hi.
Now, we heard the Transport Minister earlier saying the benefits go far beyond just our hotel, our transport. It benefits so much in the Singapore economy. So is it fair, does it overrepresent the case to call this a game changer?
Well, as you appreciate, tourism itself is a sector where the benefits of tourism are beyond just the visitors who are coming, the direct and indirect benefit. And cruise industry, as was reported, is a very large industry in Singapore. Last year, we saw about 1.2 million tourists, passengers coming to cruise industry. And this year, we're expecting to cross the 2019 pandemic levels by Q3 2023. So in other words, the cruise industry is going to see increase in demand over the years, not just here in Singapore, but locally and even regionally as well as overseas as well. So what that means is that, with the cruise industry or the demand in the cruise industry, plus here we're talking about Disney. Disney is such a big brand and which has its own fan following across the globe. How that can attract more visitors to Singapore who would like to come here, experience Singapore, and at the same time get onto the cruise and get the benefits of 2 main tourist attractions: a theme park, a theme park on the boat, and second, of course, even coming into Singapore and experiencing what Singapore has to offer. So in my opinion, it's definitely a win-win situation for everyone. And then my colleagues at James Cook University, Singapore, and we follow such developments very closely to ensure that, yes, these are benefiting the local community and the region.
Yeah, Singaporeans love their cruises. I mean, it is about the experience. And in this region, I mean, there's such high demand for these cruise liners and the experience that it actually offers. But this one, Prof, it's a very specific market you're looking at. You have to be a fan of Disney Well, maybe you don't. I don't know. Do you?
Yeah. But I think that's a very good point that you raised, Dawn, because when you talk about a tourist experience, what entails a tourist experience? There is some sensory components to it, things that you see, touch, feel. There is some emotional component to it, feelings, emotions, and there's a connection that you build. So Disney builds very good connection through its characters, through the mascots, through the settings that they have, and they do it very effectively. So that itself enriches the tourist experience. And combine that with a cruise, which, a cruise itself, when people go to a cruise, it's about getting a good experience, getting away from the daily routine, enjoyment, fun, have a range of activities. And cruise offers activities for everybody in the family, from children to young adults to, active seniors, for example. And one thing that a theme park or a brand like Disney would require is big facility, which a cruise liner can offer.
All right, I'll pick you up that big facility which a cruise liner can offer, and that is relevant particularly to Singapore, which is very short on land.
Absolutely.
So we can move the facilities off land onto a boat. So this really suits Singapore to a T, does it not?
Absolutely. This is, as I said, it's a win-win in a way that it does provide opportunity for Singaporeans to go, and even having other tourists from the region to come into Singapore. Fly cruise is a very popular mode even now. Genting, other cruises which are operating through this part of the region also have very good clientele coming through a fly cruise option. And Singapore doesn't have to invest in any form of physical facilities here, and that it's offered on the boat itself.
So the partnership is a 5-year sort of collaboration, right? What is going to, make the difference as to whether it gets another 5 years? I mean, is this just going to be about the numbers?
Yeah, I think the important bit about tourism is, of course, it's entertainment, but more than that, from Singapore's perspective, and if I get the minister right from the announcement earlier on, it's also about how such developments contribute to employment and development in the Singapore sector, the Singapore economy. So in the 5-year period, if we see that, Disney Cruise is able to bring in additional tourists, new markets, target markets, they're coming into Singapore, not just the traditional ones. And at the same time, it's generating employment and even more economic opportunity for ancillary sectors, then why not? Hopefully, there could be extension to the contract, similar to what happened with F1, for instance, where they had a contract for 5 years and they renewed for another period of time, and other facilities that we have here.
Right. They're going to have to do more than test the waters on this one.
Absolutely.
They're going to have to literally jump in and get both feet wet, no pun intended. Thank you so much, Prof, for coming in to talk to us about this. We've been speaking there to Professor Abhishek Singh Bharti from the James Cook University. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.